Hey, what's good? How you doing? Pleasure to make your acquaintance. Figured I'd show you around, show you why you should stick around for the Dub Talk podcast. It's a good place, we having a good time, a couple laugh, couple jokes, but don't cross us and we won't cross you. Couple ground rules we should make before we get started with tonight's festivities. Warning. The Dub Talk podcast may contain language and content that may not be suitable for young audiences. Listener discretion is fucking advised, you mook. Also, be aware that there's a spoiler warning in place for the first 5 to 6 episodes of Hinamatsuri. So if you don't want to ruin the surprise for yourself like a moron, go watch the show, then come back here right after. We're still gonna be here. Unless you just don't give a shit, in which case, good for you. You want a fucking cookie? Finally, be advised. Everything that's said here tonight are the opinions of the individual participants and don't reflect upon the Dub Talk organization as a whole. They can say what they want as long as they don't stab me in the back like a fucking coward. Now, I'm feeling awfully parched, and my sweet, adorable little pain in the ass daughter wants to join me out for a night at the Gentleman's Club. So, respectable parent that I am, who am I to say no? Please enjoy this Dub Talk podcast episode of Hinamatsuri. Gentlemen's Club! 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 Gentlemen's.
Welcome to Dub Talk, the podcast that tastes and critiques some slice of life, served in a rice bowl topped with some salmon roll. I'm your bartender Jamal, and with me tonight are my friends, Yakuza henchman Lack.
Hey, how's it going, y'all?
Roots the student.
Hey everybody, how you doing?
And the youngest of the group, Anzu the classy Spartan.
Guess what? I'm old enough to drink, and I'm gonna drink my heart out. Why can't I feel my feet?
Oh god. You probably stuck in that little
It's
ball
not how you drink
contraption
alcohol,
thing.
dude.
Mm-hmm. Your face is of alcohol.
And in case you couldn't tell by the intro or the title of this video, tonight we will be discussing the English dub of Hinamatsuri, the spring 2018 slice of life sitcom animated by Studio View. Yes, the same studio that brought you Dagashikashi Season 1, Tsukigakure, well that explains a lot, and of course, Please Tell Me Gauko-chan.
Oh, I think here's the thing. Those are all good things, but I think what's more applicable for this specific show is my teen romantic comedy Snafu Season 2. Especially because a lot of similar staff and animators are actually working on this show. Fun fact.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Okay.
And for those who haven't watched the show, it's a quick synopsis for you. Yakuza member Yoshifumi Nita's life takes a turn when a young girl falls onto his head. Following the strange first meeting, Nita discovers that the girl possesses strong telekinetic abilities, and despite his protests, has no choice but to care for her. For better or worse, they'll try to keep up their newly formed partnership from blowing up in their faces.
So, I could tell you my final thoughts of this right now, or you could be like, man, what do these guys think of this show? I'm not even going to lead the anticipation on. I fucking love this show.
Whoa, hold on a sec. Blowing up in their faces or blowing up in their vases? Am I right?
How much do those fucking cost?
I don't know, but she's putting
More
him in
than
house
you-
and home.
You
More
can't
than
see
you
it, but
can
I'm doing the
afford.
finger guns.
More than you can afford, Andrew.
More than any of us can afford. I like the fact that he just has like a really nice place, and like he's a very wealthy man, probably from his dealings. But you know,
Yeah.
good on him. Good on him. I'm sort of coming to realize my actual aesthetic when it comes to shows, specifically when it comes to things I want. Comedy and, like, pseudo-paternal feelings are my fucking aesthetic, I've come to learn. Because this is giving me a lot of flashbacks of things like interviews with Monster Girls and Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid in regards to, like, paternal family feeling with outrageous balls-to-the-wall comedy and kooky characters. That is my fucking aesthetic, and this show has made me discover that.
Wait, you mention pseudo-paternal relationships, and you don't mention the other kind of off-to-the-side Yakuza one, Alice and Zoroku?
Oh, yes. That's another good one. That is another good one. Where the fuck?
Funny you mentioned that.
You're breaking my heart, Fredo. You're breaking my heart.
Look.
It's funny you mentioned that, because this show comes off as like, if you took the characters of Alice and Soroku, just invert them, you know?
It's, I could see the similarities, though. I could see a lot of the similarities. I guess Alex and Zoroku feels like a much more sweet and earnest series, but this is okay. Here's the thing: the show is also very sweet and earnest, but it feels like it has a nice razor's edge to it too. That is just so outrageously funny.
Like, I wouldn't say like a razor's edge, but like, you know, maybe like a butter knife. It's not edgy to the point it'll bleed, but it'll cut cheese and butter.
Fair enough. But this is...
I mean, we haven't really seen anything that edgy in the show.
Okay, okay, maybe edge is the wrong word. What I'm trying to say is, this goes for some of, like, the darker, more absurd jokes sometimes without...
Yeah.
It's got some snark to it.
And it's like, it's not afraid to, like, put these characters in, like, dire, like, unfortunate situations compared to, like, something like Alice and Zoroku.
Yeah.
That's not centered on the drama, before anybody mentions the fucking last arc of Alice and Zoroku still makes me cry my eyes out. Anyways,
Alright, so... now we will be discussing... because this is a Precious episode, we will be discussing our predictions for the dub, who's actually cast, and give our thoughts on the performances over a round of cocktails. Yeah, just kidding. We're not allowed to drink after the 91 Days episode.
I mean, we can.
Sorry.
No, we're not.
I must have missed something.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Things happened, and let's leave it at that.
Yeah.
It was a fun episode, but...
People had to get whacked, maybe.
Yeah, so instead, let's get started as always with the ADR director and scriptwriter. So, who'd like to go first?
I could go with the three. I had 3 predictions in regards to ADR director. I didn't have anybody for writer, just because I figured usually they find somebody that works. I had the following 3. Actually, I had 2 people in mind initially, and then I thought this person would actually also be really good at comedy too, because at the time of making these, I had recently finished Gamers, and Kristen McGuire made Gamers so fucking funny that I really would have liked to see her take on this level of outrageous humor. But the other 2 I had seen do very similar shows to this. Like I said, the aforementioned Miss Dragon Maid. The aforementioned Dragon Maid and Interviews with Monster Girls I was thinking of with this show, so I predicted both Kyle Phillips and Jade Saxton.
Well, you mentioned that. I also had Kyle Phillips, because he seems to tend to direct a lot of comedy dubs nowadays. It's like, you know, like back in the day, it seemed to be like lower tier kind of stuff, but I figured he could handle this pretty well.
He does.
He
does a lot of varied work, but it's definitely stuff he seems to enjoy.
Oh yeah, very. He even admitted that himself too. I also had Jeremy Inman because I figured he'd be doubling down because he seems to be a man of both comedy and series business where he needs to be. Like if you see Ramens or if you see Space Battleship to Misu Twitch, go watch that. That I don't know how he does it, but god damn, that's fucking funny as hell. But I want to see him break that here, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And speaking of tiramisu, I also had Anthony Bourdain because seriously, the man does not stop directing whatever needed. Like I want to see him in a full-fledged director role again. But
Go take a nap, man. You've earned it.
Yeah.
All the shows you're directing. Or helping to direct, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, dear God. Does that man ever sleep? Speaking of which, because I had 3 for scriptwriters, I had Tatum because I figured, something like this, if you're going to punch up the material, why not get somebody who can punch up the material easily? Just make sure he doesn't go a little too overboard. I also had Eric Dismute because I really enjoy a lot of his comedy dubs like Nabaka and Sugumomo, which thank God they're both getting released on Blu-ray. But
yeah, about time.
Yes.
Licensing is weird.
Yeah, it is. But the funny thing was, when I started hearing episode 1 of Dub, before I even went to look at the cast list, I thought to myself, Jamie Markey's writing this, isn't she? Because a lot of the choices I can't understand. But it seems to work. Alright, anybody else want to go next?
Sure. For scriptwriter, I had a combination of Aaron Dismute, again, because of Nanbaka, and because of Pop Team Epic, I also put in Emily Neves. And for director, I wasn't sure who to put in here, so I just stuck with my default comedy director, who is Jerry Jewell.
Okay, and do you have any predictions?
No, I did not, because I didn't realize we were doing predictions. I'm sorry.
It's all good. It's all good.
Yeah.
The last couple episodes I did, we didn't really have predictions, so I kind of fell into that habit.
It's understandable.
Yeah, no biggie. I'm kind of light on them myself, so...
Alright then, so getting right into it. Start off with the ADR director. Our ADR director is Pork Chop Sandwiches! Kyle Phillips.
Oh, that was a really good blooper.
Go watch the Card Captor Sakura bloopers, people. Yes, Kyle Phillips, who you've seen in other works he's also directed the Ancient Magus Bride, the Overlord franchise, and the Nagashi Kashi franchise, all within the same season. What the hell?
Yeah, that's some crazy stuff right there.
That man has dedication, and I respect the hell out of that, but please get some sleep.
Yeah, man.
A regular Renaissance man, too. I mean, think of all those genres he's covering every season.
Oh, hell yeah. No, it's definitely very versatile, and I respect that.
Yeah. As for our scriptwriters, however, this is kind of an interesting situation. We have 2 scriptwriters for this. For episode 1, our scriptwriter is Aaron Dismute, who's written other stuff such as Hakata Tokotu Ramens, of course, Kido's Journey 2017, Tokyo Ghoul, Sugumomo, and of course, Nanbaka. As from episode 2 onwards, the script is being taken over by Caitlin Barr, who's written other scripts for Citrus, Code Geass, Akio the Exiled, Haikyuu, School Life, and she's also pulling double duty this season with Dances with the Dragons.
A show we will not be covering.
No, we won't.
Anyways, yeah.
Kind of a shame, too, because that's an interesting cast that would be kind of cool to talk about.
Yeah, true, but what can you do?
Look, there's timing and other things, and we can't do everything at once.
Yeah.
We gotta pick and choose, anyways. And moving on.
Alright, so who wants to go first?
Alright, so in regards to the direction and writing of this show, what you need from a show like Hinamatsuri, first and foremost, is you need funny things and great delivery. And the thing that works about the show, even in the Japanese, the comedic timing is so on point. It's so good. There are some jokes where it's straight up just like, you'd think that it wouldn't work in a Japanese language, but they land in the Japanese language too. Like the time where he's about to do the fight between Anzu and Hina. It's just like, she's going to fight you. Why would I do that? Salmon roe for dinner. I'm gonna fight you. It's just
yeah.
So to nail that in the English language, like to make that work as well, the timing is so on point for the delivery of these lines, and every character sounds exactly the way they're supposed to and how they deliver it. Like the monotone delivery sometimes of, I'm ready to do the thing. I don't understand what's going on, but this is happening too. Oh, Jesus Christ, what is my life? It's so stellar. Every actor sounds like they are having so much fun, and I am having so much fun listening to them. And the script lines, I'll get more into that with the specific characters, but the script adaptation works very well. I've been watching both sub and dub. I am very entertained when I hear some of these lines delivered in English. All in all, yeah, no, Kyle, you're doing a great job with this. I can tell you're having a lot of fun, and I look forward to more bloopers in the future.
Yeah.
From all of us at Dub Talk, up yours.
Bring on the bloopers.
Oh, I can't wait to get to her, but more on that later. Alright, Lack?
Well, I don't have much to add from what Andrew said. I think all the jokes pretty much hit on point. I at first there was a little like shock for me because I wasn't really sure what kind of show I was watching, because it started off in like rural Japan and then it got set in the city, so I was just like, what's the plot of the show?
Yeah, that kind of happened. Like,
but I realized after a while what kind of show it is, and I kind of got the whole thing of like them saying like "owie" every time they were hurt.
Yeah,
which was pretty funny, I had to admit. And I could, I think they understood what kind of show they were making here, and I think that really helped the dub a lot. Yeah, not really much to add from what Andrew said, but I respect how well they were able to understand their show and how they were kind of able to use American and English like type quirks in the dialogue to be able to kind of fit what the Japanese were doing. So yeah.
Yeah, I'll agree, because one thing I've realized with Aaron and Caitlin's scripts, I noticed that like all those two and like Kristen McGuire, they all have like the same style of script writing, where you can take something that would probably feel out of place in the comedy dub, but you can make it fit into context very easily. And I find that they really made this dub accessible, as was funny. Hell, maybe funnier than the sub. I mean, who knows? Yeah. But they managed to hit
that's
on...
probably a cultural thing.
Yeah, but they managed to hit on the points that the show was relaying very easily. And as for Kyle, I really like not only his directed, but his casting as well. Like, he seems to really be getting the stride on his dubs lately, ever since Ancient Magus Bride. Because before, he used to be kind of hit or miss with us. I think the last time I ever talked about Kyle Phillips was the Centaur's Life, and the less said about that show, the better. But I really think he has found his groove, You were saying something, Andrew?
I was gonna say, Centaur's Life is that is not a. I do not think that was a bad dub, but I think
it's not a bad dub.
I was gonna
the
say
show itself is weird.
That is a show that seems like it is at odds with itself, and considering the fact that this seems like a series that could have potentially strong source material at odds with such lackluster presentation. It felt like the show was always fighting itself, but that's not the fault of the dub at all. That is the show entirely. But please continue.
I'm like I said, I'm pretty much content with the dub. He really manages to hit the points home, not only with the writing but with the casting too. But we'll get into that later. Roots, you have anything else you want to add?
Yeah, dialogue has a lot of punch and snap to it, which is what I look for. Comedy is on point. That said, there is one particular line that's kind of become the recurring joke of Funimation social media when they talk about Hinamatsuri. It kind of irks me just a little bit, but I'll get to that when we get into the specific character.
Okay.
That's
actually, you know what? I'll just say it here. The gentleman's club thing just kind of felt weird to me because like Hina's like a little girl, and I'm not sure where. And it's even stated in the show that she wasn't able to speak before she met
Nita.
Before she met Nita. And like,
it's pretty simple. She's just watching a bunch of TV, and he doesn't live with anybody. So, and he's got a lot of money, so he's probably got all like the subscription-based, adult-based content on TV that he didn't bother to child lock at all. So she's probably watching all of that. She's probably watching High School DxD completely uncensored right now.
I mean, that's
just
true,
saying.
But at the same time,
Nita, what is a harem?
At the same time, the subs did it as girly bar, and that seems a little more.
Okay, roots.
Yeah, that just seems a little more appropriate for the age of the character.
Okay,
to call it something like that.
Okay, two things. One, this is like a adult-based manga comedy.
Right.
Secondly, lip flaps and timing.
Yeah, that's probably the sticking point as to why they didn't go with girly bar.
You can't make that work.
But
And third, they're both the same thing.
It's the same thing.
I mean, yes, but
it's not like they call it a titty bar or something.
I mean, it's not that though.
It works. I don't agree that you're like, oh, like it's pretty clear he kind of just treats her as like somebody who's there anyway.
It just feels a little out of place, and that's really my only gripe with the script writing.
I completely disagree. I think
have you seen part of episode 1 where she falls out of the sky?
I think that's absolutely in line with the comedy of the show. Absolutely. I think the absurd nature of just this whole group of guys and girls just chanting.
Oh no! It's hilarious. It just and while I understand that Hina watches a lot of television and probably got it there, it just feels a little weird that there was nothing to set up where she would have heard that.
The way I interpreted it was she just wanted to hang out with Nita, and he likes to go to the gentleman's club.
He does like to go there all the time.
Yeah, so she was like, well, I want to do what you do. Like, you know.
No. It's not the content. It's not. I want to do stuff. I mean, we can get into it a little bit more when we get to Hina, but
like I said, I think the line it translates exactly as well as it does, and I think it's funny and works in context. Whatever.
Yes, pretty much. Direction was on point, script was on point. Let's get into the casting now, shall we?
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so first up, we have a pair of homeless men. We have Shige, who is the leader of the homeless crew, and Yasan, who is a partial informant for the Yakuza, who helped teach Anzu after he took her in when she was homeless. They taught her about living on the streets, the value of money, all that good stuff. So,
real talk, I did not expect an absurdist Looney Tunes-esque comedy about psychic-powered children and the fucking Yakuza to have probably one of the single most empathetic portrayals of homeless people I think I've ever seen in anime. What the fuck?
Yeah.
I know, right?
This anime is its own thing. It doesn't really belong anywhere. So
It doesn't really need to. If it can stand on its own, it
to.
does. So
Even then, it's genuinely surprising and actually kind of fascinating on the part of the author themselves. Like, they're not stereotypes. Like, they don't feel like stereotypes, or they don't feel like they are mocked. They feel earnest, realistic, and very interesting. And
took my lung.
I'm genuinely impressed.
Yeah, very impressed. Speaking of impressed, did any of us have predictions for them?
I did not have predictions for these characters because at the time I did not know how relevant they were going to be.
I'll be honest, I thought I did, but I got one of them mixed up with another character, so I have nothing. Roots?
I only did predictions for the first 2 episodes, so no.
Great, let's get right into it then. Shige is voiced by Kent Williams, and Yasan is voiced by R. Bruce Elliott. Kent Williams, you've heard in other works such as Dr. Franks and Darling in the Franks, Dr. Gero in Dragon Ball Z Kai, Ryunosuke Azumi in Tsukigakure, and Goya Plisetsky in Yuri on Ice.
Okay, so excuse me for a second. Well, actually, his name is Dr. Gero, not Dr. Gero. Now you can move on.
Okay, Andrew. As for our Bruce Elliott...
Thanks for joining us tonight, everybody. Good night. No.
Yes, welcome to DBC Talk, where it's nothing but Andrew for the next 3 hours.
Look, Jamal, Jamal, if I fucked up some character's name from Sailor Moon, you would do the exact same to me.
True. And our Bruce Elliott, you've heard him in other works such as Tanaka from Black Butler, Hannibal Barker from Drifters, Kumagoro Psyche from Psyche K, and of course, Baccarat from Fairy Tail. So, Andrew, why don't you take it away?
Things I never expected to say in my life. I want these homeless men to be my grandpas.
Wow.
Wow, I did not see that coming.
I didn't either. And I'm not even meaning that as like a jokey way. I mean,
I know.
These are characters that straight up, like, they've had hard not lives, but they genuinely understand, like, the value of appreciating what you have and what you need to do to survive. It's really interesting, but they are just genuinely earnest, sincere, sweet people who've all fallen on tough times and, like, missed their own families and their own lives, but find comfort and unity in their little community. And that's really interesting to me. Kent Williams is basically the tsundere homeless grandpa of the group, where he's just like, who's this dumb little kid? She's just gonna weigh us out. We can't take care of her. And then he ends up kind of being one of the ones that cares more and actually, like, starts crying just at her really terrible song performance. But, like I said, Kent Williams sounds fantastic. He's always a treat every time he comes up, and I enjoy him. R. Bruce Elliott is a very, very good, like, subdued, chill grandpa man who knows the ways of the world, and I like listening to him, and I adore the dynamic he's got with Anzu. I really think R. Bruce Elliott has a really good voice for this kind of character, very, like, fatherly, paternal-esque, which I've heard him in other places. He does a really good job with it, and it makes me feel for him. Good on you, homeless grandpas. Don't spend all your money on booze, please.
Alright, Zach?
I agree, like, wholeheartly. They're two great actors, Ken Williams and R. Bruce Elliott, and I think they bring a lot to these characters. You know, it can be really tough to portray the homeless, even if they're, like, you know, secondary characters to the rest of the story. So it's really interesting and I almost feel like it was deliberate to cast these two really like experienced voice actors in these roles, because it helps that they're both like elderly men in the show, but at the same time they help to bring humanity to these two characters that if they were played by more inexperienced and less well-trained actors, it could come across as really false and insincere, and I think that would harm the show tremendously, because I think the homelessness is actually a surprisingly big part of the show. And so those are pretty much my thoughts. So
I'll say, like, just a quick piggyback off of you there. Even things that try to make good on, like, their portrayal of homeless people usually fuck up. David Cage. So the fact that this comedy show managed to do that is kind of amazing, and I really respect it for it.
Andrew, I think you get a little shitty game caught in your throat.
Sorry, it's been a hot topic of lately, and I can't exactly press X to feel my sadness sometimes. Please continue.
Let's leave the state of Michigan out of this. Anyway, I didn't expect to hear the words Tsundere Grandpa, but then again, our Bruce literally plays one in Psyche K, so that's understandable.
God, I love his character in Psyche K.
Yeah. They did a very good job getting across the homelessness of their character, you know. Even managing to play up the dramatic aspects when needed, even if it's like for comedic purposes, such as the bad singing and everything. But, you know, it really helps to give heart to the story. But overall, they did a pretty good job. I don't have any fault with them, and I can't really think of anything else to say. So I'm gonna pass it on to you, Roots.
Okay. Like, the entire arc of the homeless kind of hamlet in the middle of the park is centered around the character Anzu. I'll have a little more to say when we get to her, but I really like Kent Williams's. I really like that term, the tsundere grandpa attitude. Like, he's really charming when. Like, it didn't seem like he was supposed to be, and our Bruce Elliott is Yasan. It was actually kind of heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Because you can actually kind of hear it in the portrayal that he like he had a life and somehow something happened. Like, I really like them. I like their sort of fatherly role toward Anzu. It was just great performances all around.
A family can be a girl with psychic powers and 12 homeless grandpas.
Okay, then, so we good to move on.
Quick little thing, I will say
dramatically sips.
That is very interesting. Apparently, like, the Yakuza actually are, like, very attached in, like, community and local politics, I guess, in a way. Because it seems like, from hearing some stuff about what Yakuza do, it's like, they don't fuck with kids, they don't, like, fuck with those who are down on their luck. They fuck with people who fuck with them. That's sort of the thing, and, like, the homeless are people that just they're unfortunate. Like, they're straight up, like, Utako, who's kind of a part of this, is doing events and, like, helping out with, like, public soup kitchens and giveaways, which I think that's really kind of fascinating. Like, I did not expect to think so much about the complicated situation that is the homeless scenario in Japan, but here we are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hinamatsuri, making me think.
Yeah. It's amazing how much we're discussing Yakuza, because...
Hinamatsuri, you're here to laugh, but we're gonna make you think, too.
I'm laughing.
Hinamatsuri, we know how to hit you in the feels, comedic or otherwise.
Oh boy, wait until next week, motherfucker. Oh god.
Oh
Hinamatsuri,
god.
Oh yeah.
I'm not ready.
Hinamatsuri, you'll break down like a vase.
I like that. I like that tagline. That works for comedy and drama. Hinamatsuri, you'll break like a vase.
Alright, I think we need to break into our next set of characters.
Hey, Funimation, that one's free.
Yeah.
Unlike that vase. Anyways, let's move on.
Yes, speaking of family, we're gonna move on now to a father-son duo, which I learned they were father and son till today. So we have Sabu, who's a henchman for the Yakuza, and a partial idiot. And we also have his dad, Tanaka, an old drunk who apparently taught Hitomi how to bartend one day when he was really desperate for a drink. We'll get more on Hitomi later, but for right now, do either of y'all have predictions?
I do not have for Tanaka, because I did not know how relevant he was going to be, but I did have predictions for Sabu, because he struck me as kind of younger sounding, but not like teenager sounding, like slightly a little bit older. So I went with two actors, Anthony Bowling and Clifford Chapin.
I also had Anthony Bowling for Tanaka. Kind of like the same lines too. But that I also had to mix up because I thought Tanaka was a homeless person. I forgot he was the drunk with the tie over his head. Yeah, so my prediction for both him and Sabu was Kyle Phillips. Because I figured, you want somebody who could be a little excitable when it comes to partying and maybe a bit soft-spoken when it comes to other situations.
Basically, you figured he'd put himself in the show somewhere, so one of these would be...
I figured he'd put himself in the show somewhere. I figured because one of the characters looks like one of his characters from another show. Roots, did you have any predictions?
Yeah, because Sabu was kind of exuberant. I ended up deciding on Justin Cook. And because I really like him in kind of performances as drunkards. Like, I had Kenny Green as Tanaka.
Oh,
It's funny because Justin Cook actually shows up in this dub.
he does show up.
Yeah.
He's the
I
punk rocker.
really like that too, but they really don't show up enough.
He's the punk rocker on the street, which that entire segment is amazing.
It is. What's amazing is who actually plays these characters. Sabu's, of course, played by ADR director Kyle Phillips, and Tanaka is voiced by John Bergmeyer. Kyle Phillips, other roles you see him in is Sosuke Sugaya in Assassination Classroom, Genshin Osaji in High School DxD. The reason I picked him was because he looks like Denki Kaminari from My Hero Academia. Isuzu from Space Battleship to Misu, and Shinichi Katori from Surrey Children.
Oh god, his character in Surrey Children. God, that...
Yeah.
I got a friend of mine to binge all that yesterday, so I got to relive some of those memories. It's like, don't worry, it's just some of the leftover pasta I had as he's bleeding all over the fucking place. Oh, it's such a good show. Go watch it. Anyways.
Yes. John Bergmeyer, other roles you've heard him is Tien Shinhan in the Dragon Ball franchise, Free Justine in Fairy Tail, and Seishin Moroi in Shiki. So, Andrew...
I didn't even really know he was still doing dubs, if I'm being honest.
He shows up every now and then.
He's basically, from what I understand, in charge of Funimation Studio at this point.
Is he at charge of the studio? It sounds like he's basically like the guy that decides who writes on everything.
Right.
I'm not.
Yeah, he's like he's big on the production side, from what I understand.
It based very much he's kind of always there, so it's just like if you need him there, he's just always in his office, to which somebody can just sort of like hook him in like a fish, be like, hey, get in this booth for a second.
Yep, so Andrew, would you like to go first on this matter?
Man, Tanaka is like the most fun, chill, drunk guy I've ever seen. Just, I like the fact that he's not even angry. He's just like, I'm ready to get drunk again. And he just sees like a little kid in a bar. His first instinct is not to be an angry asshole or not to be a creepy asshole. His first thought is, you want to make drinks? Here, I'll show you how to make drinks.
Yeah.
And he's just so chill about that. It's like, here's how you do it. And then he's just like, I created a masterpiece. She's so good at this. Like, he's just crying to his beer. It's just like, I'm so happy right now. Like, that kind of... He strikes me as the kind of guy who would just be... He would be upset about the fact that he just can't hug every kitten in the world right now. He's that kind of guy. As for, John Bergmeyer does a really good job being this very chill, friendly, drunk guy, and very enjoyable, fun to hear Tien sound drunk. I very much enjoy that. Kyle Phillips he's a much more, like, chill, straight man kind of lackey for Nita, but he's very enjoyable, getting a lot of the straight reactionary jokes sometimes, being like especially the one where it's like, this is the best tea I've ever drinking. You realize that's just really cheap tea, right? And just the being the butt of the joke, or the one that always has to pay for Nita, is like, what? I don't want to deal with that. And I think Kyle does a really good job making him kind of shriek, but not exactly, like, he's kind of the butt of a joke a lot of the time, but he takes it in stride pretty well. And yeah, I think both John and Kyle do really good. Please continue, as I need to drain the lizard.
Somebody can't hold their alcohol. So, Lack, why don't you go ahead?
Yeah. Again, I mean, they're not in the show prominently, but I did like them a lot, and I thought both Kyle and John both filled their characters really well. I do remember the first time we really see Tanaka, and he's just totally plastered. And I did think it was funny, especially walking in on him with, like, his tire on his head. I mean, as far as characters go, they're not hugely important, but, I mean, if you're gonna have, like, background characters that need to be memorable, I mean, John Perkmeyer and Kyle Phillips are two really good choices to have. I really don't have that much to say with these guys. But I absolutely enjoyed their performances. I thought they were really good. That's really all I have to say for these two. So,
yeah, I kind of pegged Kyle Phelps to be somewhat the straight man, because I figured if he was gonna put himself in here somewhere, and of course be like probably one of the last characters you never see coming. And Sabu, like I said, I thought Kaminari when I saw this guy. I was like, oh yeah, most likely it's going to be him. But he does a pretty good job. I mean, he doesn't talk that much, but, you know, he comes out pretty well. John Bergmeyer, on the other hand, here's the thing. For one, I thought Tanaka was one of the homeless men when I started doing my predictions. And for two, when I listened to it, I was like, what the hell is that voice? And I just look and see you, John Berg.
It was Berg John Meyer.
I see you back from the bath. I see it was John Bergmeyer. I was like, bullshit, that's not John Bergmeyer. Bullshit. I was like, holy shit, it is. I never really heard John Bergmeyer do this kind of voice before, but then again, I never really listened to John Bergmeyer stuff anyway, so I was pleasantly surprised. But...
yeah, I gotta admit, I had no idea that was John Bergmeyer when I heard it.
I think this is also a character we hear exclusively drunk, so it definitely have not heard John Bergmeyer. I might have heard him play a character get drunk once or twice, I just can't recall, but I've never heard a character that he played that is exclusively drunk.
Yeah, so it was pretty impressive, and maybe a little bit of black magic. I mean, but then again, like I said, it took me a little while getting used to, because like we've said, we never heard John Bergmeyer this drunk before, but he did a pretty solid job. I got commend him for that. It was a pretty solid effort. Like, I have nothing else to add. Roots.
Yeah, honestly, there's not really a lot I can say about Sabu because he really doesn't talk all that much. He does get a couple solid jokes in, and Kyle Phillips is really funny. But John Bergmeyer is probably the figure that this little grouping is for, and like he's got some really good comedic timing as this constantly drunk dude.
Yeah.
And like he's like the kind of character who sees a middle schooler in a bar and asks for a drink.
He's not.
Yeah.
He is not a figure of high moral standing, but he is somebody you want to fucking party with.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, his son's in the Yakuza. Of course, he's both of them, so...
I mean, I don't see Yakuza and think, these people like to party. You see Yakuza and think, these people live a life of luxury, chaos, and probably a couple of, like, severed heads.
Like, he's got a tie on his head. You can tell he slumps back home and throws on Andrew WK.
That's a very specific scenario, but I also can see him doing that too.
Yeah, I mean, when it's time to party, we will party hard. So
Party,
Yep.
party. I'm gonna have a party. You need to have a party. You better have a party. You gotta party
Like, I
harder.
kind of want to see someone commission a piece of art of this guy with the Andrew WK bloody nose
Oh,
and
boy.
the tie on his head.
Da,
Because
da,
I see, that's now how I see this character.
da, 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 da. It's like, hey, Dad, go to sleep. This is your last resort. Da, 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 da. Yeah, da, 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 da. Dad, please stop.
And he probably also has the Gundam album somewhere in his collection.
All right.
But yeah, John Bergmeyer, you did a really solid job.
Alright, so
And
good.
Kyle Phillips as well. You did really good too.
Yeah, so good to move on then?
Yep.
Yep.
Alright, so we get to a couple more patrons in this little song bar. Actually, one's a patron, the other's a bartender. We have Mr. Matsutani, and we have the bartender, Utako. Mr. Matsutani is Hitomi's homeroom teacher, who we'll get to later. He's also a bit of a social drinker. You first really start to notice him when he's traveling around with the vice principal, doing bar crawls back to back.
Look, let's put it like this. He is a Japanese man in a suit. How do you make it up in the world of whatever position you're in when you're a Japanese man in a suit? Drinking!
The only way you go up the ladder is under the table.
Quite literally, the start of this scenario is the fact that he's with the superior officer who's like, I think we should call it a night, and it's like, you seem like you'd be good for your promotion. Actually, you're right, let's go drink more.
Yeah, and said promotion is almost jeopardized when he realizes one of his best students is secretly a bartender, but he keeps that job secret, albeit for personal gain.
Oh, it's absolutely for personal gain. And then there's Utako, who is Babe. I mean, she runs the bar.
Yeah.
Also, she's a babe.
She's a babe who runs the little song bar. Apparently, she's also seen to be part of the community, feeding food to the homeless, and so it's kind of carrying underneath that sexy exterior of hers.
Like I said, I think that's the whole Yakuza thing where it's like, they do work with the community or try to give back, but she is also still Yakuza, and as soon as they reference, let's get the cops, it's like, I'd rather die than work with those pigs.
Yeah. Ew. So, did we have predictions for either of these two?
I had predictions for, not the teacher, but I had predictions for Utaka. I had, I had two specific voices in mind, and one prediction I thought worked really good as a personal pun. Morgan Garrett was the first I thought of sultry bar characters, and I also really like hearing her voice in more comedic roles. And like I said, I thought like sexy and all that, but also she's really fun when I hear her in comedies too. And I also thought Jamie Markey would have been a right fit for this one. And this one I also thought was fun just because of the fact that she is a bartender, but I also could have seen the voice working too. Wouldn't it be funny if the bartender was voiced by Caitlin Glass?
You son of a bitch.
Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba. You can't
Get
see,
off the stage!
you can't see it, but I'm dabbing on you right now. Fuck off.
Boo! Get off
boy.
the stage! You suck!
In that case, Roots, you want to go next?
Yeah. I actually had predictions for both of them, because I didn't know who would end up being prominent. The homeroom teacher, I had Damon Mills, because I wasn't quite sure what kind of character he would end up being. And as for Utako, I had Morgan Berry as well. Morgan Garrett, I'm sorry, with Morgan Berry as a secondary. Hey, that rhymes.
Cool.
Yeah. As for me, I guess I wasn't as adventurous, because for the homeroom teacher, I had Kyle Phillips. I figured, hey, why not, you know? I mean, we're involved in the bar scene, you might as well involve Kyle, because I'm pretty sure Kyle loves to drink. And he's also kind of easygoing too, as well, so. For the bartender, I had Michelle Rojas and Tia Ballard, because I wanted somebody who could match Utako's eccentricity, especially when it comes to having to deal with Anzu and all her theft and stuff. I thought who could display that anger very well.
Michelle Rojas would have been fun. Okay.
Yeah.
I see that logic.
Yeah, plus older woman, you know. But in either case, all three of us were wrong.
Just be careful when you say anything about them being older. People get very... Yeah.
No, I'm gonna have to fix that now.
You need a stiff drink to take that comment. Speaking of stiff drinks, please tell us who plays these characters.
Yes, Matsutani is, believe it or not, voiced by Adam Gibbs. And Utako is voiced by Manuel Rodick. Adam Gibbs, other roles you've heard him is Koshi Sugawa in Haikyuu, Hotaro Oriki in Hyoka, Shinichi Izumi in Parasite the Maxim, and he's also in another dub we'll talk about later. As for Manuel Rodick, other roles you've heard of is, of course, Yukino in Fairy Tail, Ross Weiser in High School DxD, Solution Epsilon in the Overlord franchise, Yukimori Yurisha Iskandar from Star Blazers 2199, and one of Andrew's favorite roles of all time, Black Lizard from Rampo Kita Game of Laplace.
Oh! I forgot she was in that. Man! Wow.
Woo, that was a trip to listen to.
That is a fucking weird show, and that is a really... Oh my god, I forgot. I forgot about that character. Oh, no. Oh, okay.
Hey, you ready?
I am going to avoid any and all piss jokes.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Anyways. Rambo Kitan's a weird fucking show. You could probably skip it, but it's got a pretty solid dub if you're interested. So, starting off with Matsutani. Adam Gibbs is very much more straight-laced suit, but you could very much tell he is speaking as a situation that he does not want to be here right now. He does not want to be dealing with this right now, but he's going to pretend this is not happening. And I love the very stern but almost pure blissful ignorance denial he gives off in his tone, where it's like, oh, this is not my student, this is just somebody who looks like my student. It's fine, I guess. Like, just the pure denial in his tone is fucking great. Utako is very cool and, of course, very, like, sultry, but she is very casual and laid back, where it's like, this is somebody I would absolutely want as my bartender, because I could just chat with this person probably about anything pretty casually, and she will just kind of be laid back. But that said, she also has a very malicious side to her when she wants Hitomi to be a bartender, and you have that whole fantastic sequence of those two trying to blackmail each other, and the fucking shit-eating grin and the tone in her voice when she's like, I'm an adult, I back this up to my computer, you stupid child. I'm like, oh, you're so good. Mallory, I don't get to hear Mallory that much in a lot of comedy stuff, so hearing her actually get to do like comedic things like that, and the whole I spit at you pigs it's so great. I really like her comedic stuff. I want to hear her do more comedy. I really think they both did a good job.
Okay, Lack?
Alright, well, in spite of Mr. Matsutani's like indifference towards everything, I found myself liking him for some reason, and then I found out Adam Gibbs played him, and I was like, oh, that's why. Okay. So, Adam Gibbs' inherent likability really shines through Mr. Matsutani, because he's basically playing a character he doesn't usually play. He usually plays kind of the cool guy to some aspect. Not always, but most of the time. So it was nice to see him play a more unassuming character, and he brought his inherent charisma to the role, which I think was great. I think the episode, like episode 4, I guess, or was it episode 5 where the boys are in the investigation?
5.
It was 5.
Yeah. Episode 5 was really funny because it focused on him and Hitomi in a really interesting way, and it almost felt like we were watching a different show. Like it was like we were watching some like Detective Conan ripoff or something like that. It was really funny.
So can we talk about the fact that those middle schoolers straight up looked like younger versions of Eren Yeager and Connie Springer?
You know, somebody else brought that up too.
I didn't even think of that. Yeah, they actually do. And for Utako, I don't really know Mallory Rodak's work much. I've probably heard her in something. But I really liked her in the role. I think Utaku had the right kind of sound. She sounded mature without sounding too mature, and she sounded young enough without sounding too young, and like just her attitude was very like likable, because it can be sometimes hard to get a character like this right, because sometimes you can get a performance that's trying too hard to sound like sexy, and trying too hard to sound like superior, and I never got that vibe off of Utaku. I really felt like she was like very likable and very cool, and it never felt forced. So that's kind of my thoughts.
Okay, so Adam Gibbs is Matsutani. I thought it was kind of a breath of fresh air, because I don't really hear Adam Gibbs a lot. The only two roles I've ever known him for is, of course, Hoto and Hyoka, but he also played a rich guy in Psyche K.
Oh yeah, like the very end of Psyche K. I forgot he was just a rich snob guy.
Other than that, I don't really listen to a lot of Sentai stuff he says, so hearing him in this role, it was kind of a breath of fresh air. And he played the role very well to his strengths, because, like you said, like, you don't really know him as a lot of straight-laced characters. But I think it was a pretty good job. It was a pretty serviceable job for what the character called for. Mallory Rodak, on the other hand, the thing about Mallory Rodak is this. She has kind of an air of elegance to her voice. Like, no matter what performance you listen to, it sounded like she's trying to speak like a proper woman and everything. And it really works in this scenario. Especially when she kind of has to be like, prim and proper in this upscale kind of neighborhood, working as a bartender. To which, it's always funny when you hear get caught in these kinds of situations, like such with chasing down Anzu for theft, or kicking Nita out of the bar. And to make a comparison, if you take her character from DxD, it's kind of inverted, but she actually manages to play up the character very well and can somebody please draw me fan art of her just serving drinks to Rose Weiser? Because that would be pretty funny to me for some reason.
We need like a whole anime bartenders association. Like, it's very, very interesting to see her react with the guy from Death Parade.
Oh yeah, that'd be nice. But yeah,
Wait, isn't it the woman in black who's the bartender in Death Parade?
It's
no,
she's the
bartender's
assistant.
assistant.
It's
Like, she's the one who actually makes the drinks, and he's just...
he starts out as like she is the assistant. She's
Right.
more like a guest assistant. He's the one that's more or less the bartender.
Right.
Oh, his name's gonna bug me. Hang on, please continue.
Deckham.
Deckham, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, anyway, Maddie did a pretty great job. I don't really hear her play like angry characters often, but she really gave it all in this role. Roots, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, Adam Gibbs actually plays the idiot pretty well.
Yeah.
Actually, he knows, doesn't he? That Hitomi's a bartender, and he just kind of ignores it.
He subconsciously knows, but suppresses that as hard as he can.
Okay.
Like, it's pretty clear he knows, but he is just hardcore repressing. Like
Yeah.
That thing at the end of episode 5 is just the best, with the reaction images.
Yeah.
it's just like this is clearly like an adult person who is bartending me. And they're like, how is someone this stupid a teacher?
Which,
if they only knew.
Which, by the way, since we're not actually going to be getting to them in this episode, I just wanted to give a quick shout out to Jennifer, Alex, Whitney Rogers, and Haley Todd, who are the middle school kids.
Oh, they're so funny.
Yeah, they're great.
Like, they were great, and they reacted off of everything in that situation, like, really hilariously.
Also, they actually got, like, female actresses to play those characters, because they are actually middle school, which is an interesting choice, but very much works for them. I thought it was great.
Yeah.
But, Adam Gibbs is great. He's funny, he's like a total doof. Like, Ekin's character, from what I typically know him as, I know him as Shinichi and, oh god, what's his name from Hyoka? Hotaro, thank you. And, Mallory Rodek-Sutiko, like Jamal said, she has a bit of an air of elegance to her. Until she's screaming to get the salt, because she's trying to get Nita out of the bar. And
or just him out. Or just spitting over and getting the police. Like, I hope she spit into a bucket for that scene.
No, she just spit on the ground like, fuck the popo.
Yeah, I don't think the engineers
spit on the
like
ground.
that,
but... sorry, I'll get him off for that later.
Yeah. Can we talk about the fact she's also good at being conniving too? Like,
oh, she's diabolical.
Like, especially towards.
I like the
Hitomi.
I like the dramaticness of that. She is diabolical.
Thank you.
Like, this show is just a buffet of reaction faces, and it's like I really.
The hard shading is so good for the comedy.
Yeah. But Mallory Rodak, Adam Gibbs, you did good, real good.
Yeah.
Thumbs up.
Is it time to talk about the daughters?
Yes, it is.
It's time to talk about my children.
Yeah, it's time to talk about the doggers. Apparently.
Oh,
yeah. Sorry about that.
God damn it! There's a dog I hear.
Ironically, there's one right next to me too, but she ain't barking. So
good pupper. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk.
Hey, yeah, let's talk about the first of three daughters. Hitomi Mishima,
AKA the physical embodiment of. What the hell's going on here?
I.e. me, anytime I get caught in anybody else's situation. She's a genius level student when it comes to academics, But after getting caught up in Hina's business, which she has no understanding or bothers to have no understanding, she ends up getting blackmailed into becoming a bartender, almost gets in trouble with the police over TVs, gets dragged by Anzu after a long shift at work, and so much other stuff going on we can't talk about.
Her whole deal is basically she's super smart and sweet, but she's super 100% just a huge pushover that gets dragged into all sorts of weird shit.
She is more or less the show's butt monkey.
She is the straight man in a lot of these scenarios, but she's just trying to survive living with these wacky characters. Like, she gets this because she's dragged along stalking her dad, and then becomes a bartender, and now she has and then she gets dragged to the gentleman's club, and now she has a part-time job as a bartender, and then just all this stuff happens, and she's just like, well, I guess this is my life now.
Yep, so do we have any predictions for her?
I absolutely have predictions for her. Where's my tab? Thank you. Okay, I had 2 in mind for this particular character. I thought Jeannie Torado was very much the voice I had in mind for my head about what kind of person and character would play. Like, she very sweet and kind, but also being like, what the hell's going on? I have no idea. Would be a really good fit for that. And the other person I had in mind, similarly, was Kristen McGuire. I was thinking very much the sweet character she plays in New Game, but also kind of seeing her be like, what the hell is going on? I can't deal with these kind of people. I thought she also could pull that edge off to her, too.
Alright, Woods?
Yeah, I was watching Black Clover in the middle of trying to get my predictions on paper.
Oh,
so,
this ought to be fun.
I ended up with Jill Harris.
Okay. I could see it.
Yeah.
She plays a very snarky character in that, so I can see it.
Yeah, she can do high pitched very easily. As for me, speaking of high pitched, I had Sarah Wiedenheft and Felicia Argel because I wanted somebody who could really do high pitched very easily. Like, the thing about it was, I couldn't even tell what age the character was because I didn't know what year they were in middle school. But I figured, they could play it up appropriately. And they're very good at getting into scenarios they don't really need to be in. But in all 3 cases, we were all wrong. Who's playing Hitomi is actually Tabitha Ray. Tabitha Ray, you've heard her in other roles such as Hotaru Shidare from Dagashikashi, Michelle Lobster from Fairy Tail, Kayata Shidawa from Kano the Right Answer, Yayoi Endo from Seraph of the End, and Teru Hayama from 3 Leaves, 3 Colors. So, let's get this out of the way. Andrew, what are your thoughts on her?
I have not talked about Tabitha in a while, and I genuinely did not remember, what her voice range was. I'm impressed. This is... here's an interesting thing. I actually think the voice of this character in English is higher than the Japanese, believe it or not.
Yep.
Which I find is kind of interesting. But that being said, I think on the one hand, it's like, in the Japanese, they're kind of going for a much more subdued straight man kind of character. But I think what this adds is that sort of sweet, girly girl angle to it. And just their high-pitched, absurdist reactions to these scenarios. But she's also kind of chill and subdued when she needs to be. She has probably some of my favorite lines in this show, and I need to figure out which ones I liked. But I think it, before I get into that, just her voice really does work for comedy, and especially for how she reacts to everything. It's just, every time she opens her mouth, it's so goddamn funny. And it's just, a couple of things I love, it's just the sort of, sweat dripping down her neck. This is the end of my life, I guess. Or just... as soon as she starts being friends with Anzu, I think I'm gonna regret this. and just the way she's freaking out and like losing her poker face. It's just like, oh golly gee, boy howdy, this is just she is just like a ball of anxiety in this world, but she's also kind of growing more as like she can get her way when she wants to. And oh my god, just her voice is so funny. Tabitha's voice is so funny for this character, and this character's already so funny. Every time she opens her mouth, it's a goddamn treat. I did not know what to expect with Tabitha going into this. I'm very impressed. Great job.
Alright, Lack?
Well, my enthusiasm may seem pale compared to Andrew, but I really did like her performance a lot, and I actually heard some deliveries of like dialogue that I don't think I've ever heard in an anime before. Just some of the ways that she was reacting to the things around her. But yeah, I thought she brought a lot of personality to the role in the way that she really, she never felt insincere in her kindness or anything like that, and I think that's a really important thing to get across in a character like this. It really was like funny how like her reactions to everything, and she was like, I just wanted to go home and sleep. Like that was really funny.
A very real struggle.
Yeah, it was what I liked about it was like it was how she was actually feeling, but she wasn't like just doing it to be a good person. Well, she wasn't just doing it to look good, she was doing it to be a good person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like the saying goes, nice guys finish last, you know?
I'm not even sure this is like a nice guys finish last kind of thing. It's just she was taught to be an upstanding citizen, more or less.
Yeah.
And she is a very, very good girl. It's just, she is dealing with the most absurd scenarios, like, what do you do when a homeless girl your age is scrounging around for cans? Or what do you do when you are being blackmailed into a job that you can't have at your age?
Yeah.
Like, what do you do in those scenarios?
She and Nita got the short end of the stick in a lot of this stuff.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And you know what? I think that's a great counterbalance, because you've got two characters here who react in basically being put in situations they don't really want to be put in different ways. You've got the really tough Yakuza of Nita, and then you've got the innocent schoolgirl of Mishima. And I think that creates a great like story difference.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
So, yeah, that's my thoughts.
Okay, then. When I started listening to the dub, I had no idea who it was at first, because it was so high-pitched. I was like, damn, wait, is that Britt April? And then I looked at it, I was like, that's Tabitha? Jesus Christ. I can't remember the last time her voice went high-pitched, but we're not talking about that.
Actually, I would like to know what you're talking about. I don't know.
Centaur's Life.
Who was she in Centaur's Life?
She's the triplets.
Oh! Right! I forgot about that.
Yeah. So, because I forgot what age the character was supposed to be, that was a little iffy at first, but then when I started watching it really did make sense overall. Like, Tabitha really knew how to play the straight man for these other characters, and she's like, I don't really want to be here right now. I just want to go home. But, you know, she makes it in a way that, like, you know, I guess will be kind of relatable to some people if they were ever caught in that situation, you know, because, like I said, I'm kind of like her, that character, that situation, so I understand where Hitomi's coming from, but Hitomi really is very impressive as a character, and Tabitha pulls that off very well. I really want to see more of this, you know?
I feel like her character arc, like, I was watching Anime FMK recently, her character arc is basically just going to be her finally putting her foot down and saying, fuck you, or fuck no, I ain't dealing with this right now. Because she is just a huge, lovable sweetie pie but she is such a goddamn pushover.
Yeah, I'm not gonna hold my breath. I'm gonna wait till I see that for myself. But I mean, I'm not gonna take your word for it. But I understand where they're coming from. Like most other things in the show, I'll wait to see if that happens. But yeah, Tabitha is really impressive overall. Like, really would love to see her in more roles like these. I mean, she probably has been in more roles like these. It's just hear her that high pitched this often. I mean, normally would be great to some people, but she manages to keep it like very balanced.
Mm-hmm.
Alright then, so Roots, what is your thoughts?
Like, honestly, I think Hitomi's story arc could be a show in and of itself.
It fucking could be.
Yep. I think that will explain the fragments of these story arcs in the show.
Yeah.
It very much feels like 3 different shows that somehow all work.
Yeah, they link up. They're coherent as well together. But yeah, it's really nice. I also really liked Tabitha Ray's performance. It was absolutely hilarious. She's cute and sweet 1 minute, and then she's trying to get the upper hand on somebody who's trying to blackmail her the next.
Yeah, that's
and failing.
Well, it's not that she failed; it's just she got tricked at the last minute. But
basically, see what I knew that you knew that you knew that I knew that you knew that I knew is I hid swords all over the place.
the only advantage Utako had was that she had a better understanding of technology. Let's put it that way.
And then also, she's a fucking adult who knows how to fuck with people.
Well, yeah,
and,
that's it.
Like, I want to say episode 5 is pretty much her standout episode.
It absolutely is.
Yeah.
Like, especially at the end where... Actually, God, the inner monologue sequence of the boys. Just, oh, but that's forbidden!
Oh, I like that. They have the mental.
Hard.
They have the creepy mental image. Like any other show would have probably done like a more extensive thing. It's just the one shot of just it's so absurdist. It's just like, oh no, that's forbidden.
I couldn't stop laughing when I was watching that earlier today. It's great.
It's so good.
So good.
I love my precious little pushover daughter. You know what she is? You ever seen Nichijou?
Yes.
She is the one blonde girl is thrown into these weird situations that always just is screaming, eh?
Yeah.
She is that character.
And also her performance for the reaction faces is just solid gold. Solid gold. It may in fact be one of my favorite performances of the entire show.
Yeah.
All right.
What? As long as you said one of.
All right. Who's the next daughter?
Okay, next up we have Anzu.
Anzu is so good. I love her. I want her to be happy. The poor girl. She works so hard and tries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, much of Anzu's origin is kind of unknown right now. All we do know is she possesses
her origin doesn't matter. Is that she came from the same?
It does not matter.
She came from the same place as Hina. She has powers. And she starts out on the streets. Things happen, and then a bunch of homeless men just adopt her into their village.
So can we talk about the beginning of episode 2 though, where she just shows up and then there's a conveniently placed coffee cat just sets her free, and then she beats down Uncle Marcus and her crew just for a set of clothes.
Owie, owie, owie.
Oh my god! But yeah, before we get into who we think plays that, can we just all agree? She is pretty much one of, if not the standout character of this show.
Yeah, I would say so.
She's such a sweetheart, and I love her, and she's my precious daughter. Let her eat. Anybody that says any bad thing about Anzu, I will deck you. I love her. She's great. She's
all right, calm down. Let's get into predictions.
no.
Understandable.
Dude, I didn't get this defensive about Twin Star and friggin' Silver Guardian.
Well, that was a different story, like.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go into predictions. Okay. As for who did I predict for Anzu? I had 2 in mind. Felicia Angel, I thought would have been a really good voice match for this particular character. And I also felt Leah Clark would have been fun, since I was thinking of her characters in things like New Game and My Hero Academia. She's not as crazy as Himiko Toga, but I was thinking much more like eccentric, kind of cutie girly girl.
Yeah, that's understandable. Alright, Roots?
I kind of had to go off of her spunk, and for that I had Jade Sexton.
Wow, that would have been something. For me, for Anzu, I had Megan Shipman because for the same reasons as you, Roots.
Okay.
I had Addison Victory because I wanted her to play in contrast to what I had for Hina. And by default, it went with April, because of course.
Mm-hmm. So,
But
who does play the precious little cinnamon who can, shall, and will never do any wrong in her entire life?
playing this precious cinnamon roll is another precious cinnamon roll named Amanda Lee.
Oh yeah! What have they done before, Jamal?
Yes, Amanda Lee, other works you've heard of is, we just recently spoke about is Akiho Shinomoto and Card Captor Sakura, the clear card art. She's the orphan Gosick, Crush from Overlord 2, Elle Adams from Rio Rainbow Gate, and Pain from Show by Rock Season 2.
So Anzu and Amanda Lee. Let's just get this out of the way, because it's always going to come up. Amanda Lee is known on YouTube as Amelie, because she does a lot of anime song covers and whatnot. I'm just going to put that out of the way, just saying I am aware of that and taking that into account. That really does not actually matter, like the fact that she can sing with her performance. With the exception of the part where it's like, hey, sing us a song for us homeless people. And it's not a good song. It's not even sung good.
Yeah.
That's actually really funny.
It's just, eat the little, she's just shouting and embarrassed, and they're all laughing at how bad it is. So the fact that it actually did get Amelie to do that is kind of funny to me.
Yeah.
That said, I'm not that familiar with Amanda Lee's acting chops quite yet. So this was my first real introduction to seeing what she is absolutely capable of. And what she is capable of, quite a bit, actually. Like, she gets the outrageous, like, badass side of her. She gets the dumb comedic reactions. And she also makes me feel so much for her struggle and makes me very emotional. And this is a very diverse role that, like I said, I was kind of nervous because I wasn't sure how versed Amanda is when it comes to doing a lot of these characters, but if Anzu's any indication, she's totally game for some very good things. This is, like, there are times where it's like, I hear a name, it's like, you're very interesting, let's see what you can do. And Amanda Lee, I've heard she's been doing things. I've not watched Overlord 2 yet. I hear she plays a very moe lizard princess, but I'll get to that later. This is a role that really makes me think, anytime I see Amanda Lee now, I really gotta give the benefit of the doubt, because I'm very impressed with what she does with Anzu. And she makes me really, really care for this character. I already did care for this character, but she definitely helps give a lot more life and personality to it. Good job. I really want to see her do more things now.
Alright, Lack?
Yeah, I was really surprised to find out it was Amanda Lee because she gave a really good performance, a really strong performance here. She brought a ton of personality to the role, a lot of different emotions like sadness and smugness and all that sort of stuff, and she kind of hit it like right on the head with each and every one of them. Yeah, like, and it was interesting too because she's cut from the same cloth as Hina, and we've got Hina who has completely flat affect, and with her we've got like all this personality and all this like anger and sadness and all this sort of stuff together, and I really think Amanda did a great job of just showing that off. Yeah, I was genuinely surprised. I kind of figured Anzu was going to be like a Monster of the Week kind of villain, and then she's actually pretty integral to the plot. And it was really interesting of the fact that she has to take in Hina. And I think Amanda did a great job of like really showing how Anzu just gets fed up with Hina and the stuff what Hina is pulling. So yeah, I was genuinely surprised about how well the role was played. So
Yeah, I mean, for me, Anzu was really the standout of the show. So much so, people were hoping to petition to change the name of the show, but that's another story entirely.
I'm sorry, hang on, what?
No.
Yeah, what are we talking about now?
Somebody made a comment that they should change the name of the show just to represent Anzu.
So you're saying it should be Anzu Matsuri?
Yeah.
Okay, so I see the okay, that was just more of a joke. I thought you meant there was like an actual petition.
Oh god, no! If there was, I'd burn the internet.
Oh, there's some dumb fucking predictions, but
like the name was actually like homophobic or something like that, and they needed to change it or something. I don't know.
Anyway, yeah, Anzu was really the standout character.
Funimation, I don't like your dub. Change everyone.
Yeah, guys, let's not bring this up again, please.
Look, people do that, and if you do that, don't. Who are you kidding? You're fooling yourself. Nothing's gonna happen. That being said,
Exactly.
Anyways, please continue.
Yeah, so like I was saying, Anzu is pretty much the standout character of the show, and Madeline really nailed the performance home. I mean, like I spoke last episode. Like, I don't really hear Madeline in a lot of roles, but what she does is kind of impressive. Like in Card Captor Sakura, she was very good, very convincing as a little girl, and in this one, she's kind of being a bit brash, but at the same time a little bit sympathetic. And it's kind of a sliding scale of ranges, because I could have sworn, even when I found out it was Amanda Lee, I thought it was Brittany Lauder. I'm like, well, goddamn. But she really does a good job in this role, and I mean, I really want to hear more from her. And it's kind of funny you brought up the whole YouTube thing, because I thought that whole scene where she's just singing badly, people laughing, I thought that was a genuine reaction she had as to. I know some people don't like her song covers. I thought that was a genuine reaction she kind of had there for a second. Like, she experienced something like this before. And, like, she really manages to bring her personality to this character. I mean, even so much so, if you haven't yet, go see the bloopers that Cow Films put up for this show, because Amanda Lee has some really great words. But as for other aspects of it, because I know she can also play the dramatic angle very well, and we're not going to talk about it, but if she can pull off one certain scene coming up, she's going to be on my short list for the Dubbies this year. Let's just put it that way.
Ooh, boy.
And Andrew knows exactly what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
I actually kind of wanted to watch ahead before this, but I just ran out of time.
Honestly, Roots, I still think you should watch ahead, you know?
Oh, I am. I just didn't have time to do it before we recorded.
Yeah, it is very impressive all around it. I really want to hear more from. I'm gonna hear more from Madeline in a few weeks, but for right now, it's pretty awesome. Roots.
Yeah, I like that she was kind of this little ball of spunk and angry when she's first introduced, and then slowly as she's being integrated into this homeless camp, she gets more and more earnest, and like you feel happy for her when she accomplishes things, and
Yeah.
like I have to think it's at least partially in the dub toward Amanda Lee. It's really good, really pure. It's just nice. And yeah, like you guys were saying with the whole song thing, that was like, it was actually kind of funny considering she's like a major YouTube cover artist and all that. But it still felt like it came from the heart, and it's really nice.
Exactly.
Like
Sorry, go ahead.
There's not much else I can add. She did a really good job. It brought me to tears at times. One of the other really good performances of the show, of pretty solid performances in and of themselves.
Yeah, because whereas some of the other characters do kind of bring comedy and maybe a bit of a family dynamic to the show, she really brings the heart to it.
Yeah. That she does.
Yes, she does. So, are we ready to move on?
Yes.
Sure.
Time to talk about the biggest daughter in the show. That's right. I'm talking about my big, beautiful Yakuza daughter, Nita.
Oh god, you gave me flashbacks to something else, but I don't want to bring that up.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
What'd you do, Andrew?
I don't know what I did. I'm just saying Nita is precious too. Just in a different way.
Yeah. So, Yoshifumi Nita is pretty much the Yakuza hitman who kind of forcefully adopts Hina when she drops out from his roof of his apartment. And as a result, hijinks kind of ensued, so much to the point a lot of his property gets damaged. But through all of that, he slowly kind of learns more about what family means to him, you know? He's also kind of a bit of a hard ass too when it comes to dealing with her. I mean, to the point that he had to feed her cat mackerel at one point. And kicked her out of the streets. You know,
yeah,
you
that
live.
Was,
He
that
was
a
rightfully
dick move.
mad, but
Yeah.
it was a whole internal conflict of like, do I actually want to care for this person that does nothing for me, or do I actually care?
Like, I love that, like, what's her name's little speech after he says that in the bar.
Whose speech?
I'm sorry, Utiko.
Yeah.
Where he's just talking about all that, and she's just like, yeah, she's family. That's the point.
And then he's like, oh, is that what that is? Okay.
Yeah.
But I want to talk more about him once we get to my actual thoughts on the actor who plays him. And as for who I thought would be a good fit for Nita, I thought the following would have been really good picks. I was thinking for a more standard thing, Robert McCollum would have been a really strong fit for Nita in regards to gruff, like, I'm gonna punch somebody kind of voice. But I also thought another fun one that would have been interesting, especially in regards to things I've seen of them do in the past, Josh Greeley would have actually been really fun to do gruff comedic comedy voice, since he can do a lot of voices, but gruff tough guy comedy I thought would have been really fun to see and hear out of Nita.
You know what's funny? I have a list here, and you pretty much picked out two of my predictions.
Oh boy.
Hey.
Yeah, that saved me time about editing. But yeah, I had like a long list, but of the three, I picked those two because I could really see them playing the tough guy character very well. And I know their voices can go deep enough when need be. Especially Josh, because, again, Roots, remember Robins?
Remember what?
Robins?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Hakata Tonkatsu Ramens, yeah.
Yeah. But for my third prediction, I went a little deeper now that I mentioned that. And I went with Jeremy Inman.
Okay.
Okay.
Ah, alright.
Because I never really seen him in a leading role before, and I figured, his voice really does come off as a tough guy plenty of times. So I figured, hey, why not? Plus, I also had him as a director.
Okay.
Okay. Roots, what did you have?
Yeah, I had one, and this was mainly because I like when this actor uses the particular tough guy voice. And then it also was meant to pair with who I predicted for Hina, and that is Vic Mignogna.
All right.
I could
Interesting.
see that. Hey, it's your predictions, whatever. Just know we're all wrong once again.
Especially me.
The interesting thing about this about Kyle is that he very much likes to make some very interesting casting choices when it comes to a lot of his shows. I appreciate that. Keeps me on my toes, if you will.
Yeah, he loves to put smaller actors in larger roles, and it's about time this guy got a leading role, because who's playing Nita is Jared Green. And if you don't know who Jared Green is, you've heard him in other shows such as he's Wataru in Cheer Boys, he's An Kuboyasu in Psyche K, he's Moguzo in Grimgar, Sado Level E, Hitoshi in My Hero Academia, Rakena Baka, and Otagide in Saku Token Ranbu Hanamaru.
And doesn't this mean Steph finally got what she wanted? Jared Green in a leading role?
I think
guess
that's Marcus
so.
Stibic. Oh, wait, that's Hardy. Never mind.
Okay, let us scrap this entire. Okay.
You... Alright, Andrew, would you like to take it away?
I would. Jared Green has a very interesting, distinct voice. He's very much broad, tough guy, couple cinnamon rolls sometimes, but he's very much tough guy, gruff voice. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
This is amazing. Like, he is playing mobster, but he is also playing absurdist, goofy, stern dad all at once. So you got the mobster tone and the fact that he's a wacky guy in a wacky world, but he is also this very doofy dad realizing, I think I actually give a shit about this little squirt. The mannerisms he's given, the things he says are so funny, and just that he is just so upset and wacky and really interesting. I love some of the lines he says where it's like, "Oh no, don't break those aren't insured yet." And another line, I refuse to be shamed for cooking on a budget.
Yeah.
That's another one where it's like, I feel you, dude. And then it's just like, as soon as he realizes the whole thing with Anzu, he's just like, why am I surrounded by creepy horror movie kids? And when he realizes he's not getting any ass because everybody thinks he's a dorky dad, and he's just like, you know what? I'm gonna go out and philander my ass off. Just everything he says is
So let's be honest, this is like the least realistic thing of the show. So
he is such a wacky, insane character. And God, Jared's tone of voice is fucking perfect. I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm not sure who my favorite of the show was going to be. I think it's Jared Green. And straight up, this is my favorite performance of him, period.
I hear that.
And I'm drop the mic, but except I'm not going to drop this mic. It was $130 fucking dollars, and it's very nice right now. I will give it to Lack.
Be respectful of your recording engineers, please.
Please do.
Yes, please.
Yes, please. I think I'll agree with that. I think Jared Green was actually kind of the standout of the show. I think his voice fit the character perfectly. I think he delivered all of his comedic lines absolutely on point. I think the dialogue they gave him was fantastic. I've heard Jared Green a few times, but I've never really heard him in a leading role, and I think this was kind of the perfect leading role for him. Because it played to all of his strengths as a voice actor. And yeah, I mean, pretty much everything Andrew said I agree with. I'm trying to think of anything that stood out for me. I like the fact that he managed to not, like, sound goofy when he was being goofy. And I think that was really interesting, because it can be hard to figure out the right way to do that, because sometimes you're like, well, maybe I'm just supposed to break character and just be goofy here. But he decided not to go that route. And I think it was a very good route to go, because I feel like part of Nita is that he is a tough guy. It's not just a put on. He is a really tough guy. He just, he's softening up because of what he's going through with Hina. And I think that's why it was a good idea for Jared to not, like, go like, oh my god, or anything like that. Like, he stayed in the range that Nita was.
Also, can I take a second to just interrupt? I respect the fact that when Hina first comes into his room, his first reaction is not to scream. His first reaction is, nope, I'm going to sleep. Bye.
Yep. Yeah, exactly.
And then he goes back and he's like, I guess this is still a thing. Huh.
Yeah.
He tries so hard, and he's a good dad. Okay, I'm done.
Well, I think I'm done too, so I can move it over.
Okay, then. So I'm gonna preface by saying I'm an idiot, because during my first draft of predictions, I had Jared Green down for the Yakuza, but that's the wrong character. And it makes sense to put him here, because that was really what I was looking for in Nita. A really, really tough guy who can... But the thing about Jared Green is also this. I mean, I've only ever really heard him as a tough guy. I never really heard him do a lot of other ranges of emotions too. Like when he's kind of disappointed in Nita, when he's just pretty much upset. He knows he's about to lose his shit. Both literally and figuratively. Because how many times does Hina break his faces? He's like, no, those are not insured yet. I've never heard Jared emote like that at all. Like, and it's really impressive. Like, the comedic aspects, the dramatic aspects. It's just impressive. Like, I'm having a hard time finding the words to describe this. It's just, it's really out there and it's really impressive. Like, can we get more of this, please? Like,
Yeah.
You can get more of this by watching Hinamatsuri on Funimation.com and or Verb. Which you totally should fucking do, by the way, if you haven't already. Anyways.
I know we're gonna get more Hinamatsuri. I'm talking about more of Jared Green in these types of roles, because, like, again,
True.
This
but
is
it's a tricky mold to find, and the fact that it worked for this kind of point and show is a blessing. So, all right.
Yeah, so I'm pretty much tapped out at this point. Jared Green did a very impressive job. Roots, you have anything else you need to add?
Yeah, I think Nita is the character that kind of benefits from the script alterations the most.
Oh, yeah.
Because I found his lines were honestly funnier in English than in Japanese.
Yeah.
Like, and I suppose part of that is the scripts, and the other is just Jared Green's off-the-wall performance.
Yeah, very off the wall.
It's wonderful. He can react to just about anything going on with just this sense of occasionally just oh yeah, I'll deal with that later, and just absolutely freaking out. It's not things I am used to hearing Jared Green do, and he's really good at it. Like, it's wonderful. Yeah. Good job, Jared.
Yeah, I think we all can agree Jared's pretty much outstanding at this job. So, we good to move on?
Alright. One last daughter.
Yes, of course, you can't have Hinamatsuri without the title character herself, Hina.
In the same way, you can't have sushi without the salmon roe.
Roe is
I mean,
me.
you can, but...
Be my curry,
but-
I'll be your rice.
But what is sushi without the salmon roe? The salmon roe's the best part. We could just eat this all day.
Roe is me. Anyway, Hina, she's a deadpan alien girl who popped into Nita's home one day. As a result, she became adopted by him. She's kind of clingy, selfish, has an addiction to salmon roe. At times has little to no common sense for things. She possesses psychic abilities at the highest level, but will explode like an EMP if she doesn't use her powers at least once a day. And she's pretty much the source of the comedy for the show, because all the hijinks revolve around her and her actions.
She is a precious little freeloading, deadpan, satanic child. And I love it.
Yeah, and what I noticed when we watched this again today, I found out there was a little Easter egg involving those sweaters that she wears, but I don't know if they have anything to do with anything, because I couldn't find the damn translator site that worked properly, but that's not the point. The point is, who did we predict would play her?
I had 3. Jade Saxton was a safe bet. I figured she's played characters similar like this before, and it totally would have worked. Jill Harris, I thought would have been very fun to see her do a deadpan, like, comedic little girl. And this one is totally because I wanted to see this actress do comedy. I wanted to see Danny Chambers do the kind of vocal delivery she does in stuff like Ancient Magus Bride and apply that to comedy.
Okay.
It's understandable. Roots?
Yeah, so I had mentioned before that, Hina's prediction basically went side to side with, Nito's, I'm sorry. Nita. So I had Vic Mignogna as Nita, and I mean, it's a little bit of stunt casting, but I like it when people do that with different takes on 2 actors working against each other. I had Maxie Whitehead.
Oh, okay, that's not what I thought you were going with it. But you went with Full Metal Alchemist, didn't you?
Yeah.
Okay. As for me, apparently me and Andrew had one of the same ones in Jill Harris for much of the same reason. Remember I said I predicted Allison for Anzu because of who I predicted for Hina? I said Brittany Karbowski because when I saw this in Japanese, it looked like a reference to a certain scientific railgun.
Okay.
Yeah.
I really need to get around to that.
As do I.
It's pretty good stuff. As for my last prediction, I had Sarah Wiedenheft because Sarah Wiedenheft's always good to play little girls, especially with deadpan too.
Also, Allison Soroku.
Oh yeah, definitely. Just the inverse of it. But in any case, once again, we're all wrong, gentlemen.
Okay. Who is, in fact, playing this character?
Playing the role of Hina is Brina Palencia. And speaking of blue hairs and deadpan, she's Rei Ayanami in the Eva Rebuild movies. She's Juvia Loxar in Fairy Tail. She's Sierra the Black Butler franchise, Makoto Suo in School Rumble, Toka Kirishima from Tokyo Ghoul, And because I brought up Railgun, Ruriko started from a certain scientific Railgun. So, take it away, Andrew.
Thank you, Jamal. I wasn't really sure how Brina would fit in the part of Hina, but I gotta say, she fits really well for the part. I love that even though she is pretty subdued and calm in her delivery, she is simultaneously plays both the parts of being a straight man and the absurd character. Because when she's Nita, she is this absurd, kooky character that is trying to do these weird things. Sometimes she's selfish and lazy, but she's also kinda trying to do things and be... The one time she tries to be nice, she fails miserably, but my god, is it ever hilarious. You can hear the hilarity in my tone of voice. As for... Sorry, I lost my train of thought. What were we talking about again? Oh, right. We're talking about Hina and Brina Palencia.
Good night, everybody.
Brina Palencia is a natural fit for this kind of character. I'm used to her playing more high-pitched characters, but I forget that she can also do a pretty good, calm, subdued, and even deadpan role, and I'm pretty impressed. She's really funny, and I enjoy... Especially, she's not completely emotionless. She actually reacts, like when she gets her neck almost broken, as well as when she's actually kind of upset. And also just the little mannerisms of her trying to be excited, being like, yay, or spare some change. She is a lazy character, but god damn it, she is also my daughter too. Hina is hilarious and outrageous. She brings a lot of the comedy in these absurd situations, but she can also be the straight man, especially when she doesn't really understand anything happening around her. Like the entire Hitomi situation is just like, what exactly is going on? Hey, somebody fill me in. Brina in general is just... I was not sure what to think, but I forgot. She's really good at this. And yeah, no, Brina Palencia does a really solid job at playing the sometimes selfish, but with a good heart, sometimes lazy Dadaru, Hina.
Alright, Black?
Yeah, no, I thought it was great. I mean, it's really hard to play a flat affect character and make it compelling. And I think Brina did a great job. It's actually really interesting to see her in a leading role in a Funimation dub again. Because it hasn't been a while since we had that.
Yep.
I want to say the last one was Snow White with the red hair?
Probably.
Yeah.
I mean, she's been doing a lot of California stuff lately, so...
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, it was really cool to see her in this role, and I think she played off of Jared Green really well. Andrew says so much that I really can't add much.
I'm sorry, it's a blessing and a curse.
It's okay. It's okay. I just, but yeah, like I said, it's really hard to make a flat affect character compelling, and the fact that even no matter what emotion she was feeling, she was in the same, like, emotional range, and it was really funny. Like what Andrew said when she was going, yay. And it was like, you get it. You get that she's not, like, being insincere. You get that's just how she talks. And I think that came across really well. I think even in the sad moments when she's not really showing much sadness, you still get it. You still get that she's sad, and you understand that it's not really her fault that she can't really show emotion. It is her fault that she does some irresponsible things here and there. But, besides that, it really worked. It really worked well. I didn't see the Japanese dub, so I don't know how the actress was like for the Japanese, but is it anything like what Brina did? Or?
It's pretty similar, actually, I gotta say.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's good. That's a good thing. Sometimes reinterpreting is good, and sometimes following the leader is a good thing. So, there you go.
Remember I said I was an idiot for not picking Jared Green for Nita? I'm a fucking idiot for not picking Brina, because Brina to me is like the queen of deadpan. Like, I've seen her do a lot of deadpan roles, believe it or not. Like, For God's sake, she's Rei Ayanami in the Rebuild movies. That's blue-haired and deadpan.
Fair enough. I hadn't heard her do that in a while, especially since I've been catching up with One Piece lately.
Yeah, same. Lack took the words right out of my mouth. I forgot about her because, again, she was doing a lot of California stuff, so yeah. It's kind of hard to pinpoint actors when they end up leaving to go to another market. Like, you don't know if they're going to
Sometimes they're over here, sometimes they're over there, sometimes they're all around all over the place. You can't keep track of them. You gotta put a tag on them or something.
Exactly. So, when I heard it was... from the moment I first heard it, I was like, wait, that's Brita? I was like, hallelujah, she's come back to us. She does very good in this one. She was the last person I'd expect Kyle to pick, because I thought it was going to be, like, maybe some smaller actor, or, like, I don't know. Like, I guess it was really tough to cast either, because you have to be deadpan without being robotic, but Brita manages to pull off the aspect very well. I'm also looking forward to the comedy we'll see in the future from her, because I've seen some impressive stuff. I will say, though, one of my favorite scenes she had to reenact was when they played the Made You Look game in episode 2.
Yeah.
Because Kyle showed a video of what was going on behind the mic, where she just had to make all those noises and stuff. And you can tell she's having a fun time playing that character.
Oh, I forgot the line, like when she's basically making things, saying things out of Nita's mouth. It's like, "Are you scared, punk? I'm ready to take you on anytime. I'm gonna throw the floor with you.
I'll end you."
I'll end you.
Yeah, the deadpan aspect of it, the delivery was just...
The delivery is so strong.
Yeah, it's like, insert picture, like, when you get that moment just right, it's that sweet spot, yeah? Like, I'm really having a hard time finding the right words for this, because that's how impressive this dub is, and I think I'll pass it on.
Yeah, so, I'm not quite... I'm used to, Brina Palencia playing the deadpan character. I'm used to Brina Palencia playing, comedic characters. I'm not used to them both being at the same time.
Fair enough, yeah.
It was kind of a big adjustment for me. It took a couple episodes for it to kind of chocolate and peanut butter together. But, it was, I want to say it was when she's cleaning the house in episode 3 that it finally started to come together. And, I really like, I actually turned around and rewatched the first couple episodes, and it gave me a new appreciation for her comedic timing and all that, for those to be, together. I liked it. It took me a little while to get used to it, but I liked it. Good job, Brina.
Yes, Brina is very impressive in this one. I think pretty much that leads us into final thoughts now. And I'm still trying to find the right words for this, but Andrew, go ahead.
Well, here's all the words you really need at the end of the day. Watch this show.
Yes, please.
Watch this show. These are basically like some genuine Looney Tune-esque scenarios, characters, and personalities, but it's knows comedic timing so well. Like, even for like something from Japan, it's like even that, like, you can tell the timing works and like is very in tune with like our own senses, but it also has a lot of genuine heart and like family ties that makes it also sweet and earnest, and also just drop dead funny. I love every single one of these characters. They are precious, and I love every time they interact together. And these children are my precious daughters, and this dub is really, really good. I'm I can watch the show all day, but I'm glad I can rewatch it again in English and have an even better time. Probably even more so. God bless it. Please watch Hinamatsuri. Please watch Hinamatsuri. I know there's that other popular thing you should be watching. Please watch Hinamatsuri. Lack.
Yeah, okay. It's a very unique show, and it's got a lot of heart behind it, and I feel like if it's not watched this season, it's going to fall to the wayside, and people are just going to forget about it, and it's going to be a lost gem. And I really don't want to see that happen, because there's a lot of great performances here in the dub, and I just, even though it's kind of an anime that doesn't really fit anywhere, that also gives it a uniqueness that I don't think we're going to find in a lot of anime. And I really think that you should watch it, and the dub is really, really good. It's really strong. I mean, if you want to watch it in Japanese, that's fine. People have their preferences, whatever. But the dub absolutely excels the anime in a way. And yeah, that's what I have to say.
Yes, I guess. Yeah, this is fucking awesome. Like, cause here's the thing about this: it goes from the writing in both the Japanese and the English to how the story is framed to the characters' development. That is a hard balance that is not easily achieved in anime. Like, you'll have anime that have many of those aspects, but it doesn't really quite come together, or you have other anime that will try too hard for those aspects, but yeah, Hinamatsuri achieves that balance very well. And the funny thing about this was, I think this was the last show that was licensed by Funimation, like at the last minute for a SimulDub.
I'm so glad they did.
Yeah, no pun intended, they literally saved the best for last. Like, don't get me wrong, there were a couple other good shows that are good too, but this is what
I'm not sure objectively it is the best, but personally it is my favorite.
Yeah, because I know dub-wise, I don't have any faults. I'm trying, but I don't have any real faults with this dub. It's like perfect, so perfect. And I'm really glad Lilac picked me to host this show, because the other show I'm on is good too. But like I said, I can't find any fault with this dub. It's just perfect. Like, I mean, to the point, I'm keeping up in both sub and dub, and hey, I'm not picky, but of course I would go for the dub. It's still great either track you pick. Does not matter which, it's still going to be great.
Doesn't matter which language, just watch it.
Exactly. And I know there's certain aspects of the story that are missing, but personally, I don't really kind of care. I mean, it is what it is.
Do you need it? Do you need it? If it comes up, cool. If not, who cares? I love these children.
Exactly. And it's funny, because that's how I ended up watching the show, because I was like, I see a trailer Crunchyroll posted for it, and I see there was martial arts and a lot of action involved. I was like, okay, that's my jam, because not a lot of people know I love action, so I started watching it, and then you see that it's something completely different. I was like, hey, this is fucking awesome, but you know, it's your preference, just watch the damn show. What's...
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. If I were one of the people at Funimation in charge of picking what shows they were gonna dub, sight unseen with maybe like the first episode, I might have looked this over.
What?
Like, with what we were given as before the show was coming out, this may have been something that would... I mean, I probably wouldn't say...
Thank God you don't work for Funimation then, jeez.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm really glad they did. Because the comedic timing is great. And
I think I get what you're trying to say, is that from first impression, this is something you could skip over and think, oh, that's no big deal, who cares? That's what you're trying to say.
Right. And it hits you hard.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, boy, it does.
Like, it's really funny, and then all of a sudden, it hits you with really heartfelt characters and scenarios, and it's really good. And more or less, I joined on to this episode to make sure it got made. Because, yeah, I signed on to this episode just to make sure that there would be enough people on it. Because I want to say it was like...
Roots, we don't need the inner workings of our process. Yeah. Let's just hear your thoughts.
Yeah, it's a good solid dub. I recommend it. It really... It's a show you don't expect to hit you as hard as it does.
Oh, man.
Yeah, but that's the best kind of show there is.
Absolutely.
The freaking... Some of the jokes in this are just so fucking funny. Like, I'm crying laughing sometimes. But it also makes me cry. Genuinely.
Yeah, I mean, that's the framing of the show for you, as well as the timing. But like we said, no matter what track you watch, just
go watch it.
And if you are interested in watching it, there are episodes currently available on the Funimation Now service, which is up to 5 at the time of recording. First 2 episodes are available for free, but the rest is behind the subscriber paywall, which, if you're interested in subscribing, they have a 14-day free trial that you can use to watch your content. But fair warning, if you don't like the service or you don't want to continue afterwards, just cancel it. Otherwise, they'll stop pulling money from your account since a credit card is required. As for the sub itself, it can be found on Crunchyroll as part of the Funnyroll partnership. You can watch with or without a subscription. Just know without a subscription there will be ads. The latest episode will be a week behind the paywall.
The sub is also on Verve.
Sub and dub are both on Verve.
Really?
Yeah,
I couldn't find it on Verve.
It's on Verve, where if you opt for the combo pack for $10 a month, you get access to Funimation.
Completely worth it.
Crunchyroll, Cartoon Hangover, etc., etc.
Drama Fever for your Korea boobs. Korea
boobs is not a phrase I expected to hear. Korea boobs.
Had a bit of a Freudian slip there.
Okay, I think you're trying to say Korea booze, but you said Korea boobs, which I'm sure those are quite firm and lovely, but I'm not sure this is the time or the place for your personal
I'm
attractions.
A little tired. It's hot in this room. I had a Freudian slip, but Korea booze is what I was trying to say.
Look, Korea boobs are also pretty hot. Let's be real here.
I think both y'all need to lay off the booze, but. Anyway, be warned though, as there are no subtitles for certain dubs, so stuff like Ping Pong or Drifters is kind of mostly unwatchable without them.
Corrections can, shall, and will be made another time.
Okay, good to know. As for any of us, if you're interested in seeing the stuff we get up to, go ahead and plug yourself, gentlemen.
Hi, my name is Andrew, aka Classy Spartan, aka at MangaMan9000 on Twitter. You can see me as a moderator over on the Funimation Discord and forum, and the other thing I do is podcast O&A for Surreal Resolution, which is where me and fellow co-host Jess talk about anime news and the like. I'm done.
All right, well, you can find me at Lack the Watcher on Twitter. Usually, you'll find links to anything and everything that I do there. I'm also currently known as Supernatural Transfer Student Lack from the Junji Ito episode. But yeah, I'm getting back into anime reviews. At some point, I'll look back with Lack, which is where I look at old anime, usually from like 60s to 90s kind of stuff. Yeah, and I'm also a voice actor. I'm trying to get back into that. I've had a little trouble with my voice recently because of allergies, but I seem to be doing okay now, so I'm going to try to get back into voice acting. And yeah, that's pretty much it for me.
Okay, Roots?
Alright, you can find me on the twitter.com at Roots of Justice. I mainly just retweet cute animal pics, occasionally talk about anime and other nerdy stuff. It's a good time. You should show up. And I finally have an idea of what I want to do for my blog. I know the what, I just don't know the how yet, so stay tuned for updates on that.
And as for me, I'm the assistant editor for this channel. I can be found on my other channel, Jamstar1, where my highest rated video is a Family Feud blooper. I can also be found on Yeah, go look it up, Black.
Okay.
I can also be found on Twitter at Jamstar529. I have a blog that's just collected dust. As for the podcast itself, we found here on YouTube under the name Dub Talk Podcast. We can also be found on Tumblr, Instagram, Twitter, and Twitch by the same name. So, is there any final words before we sign off?
You know what? There's only one place for us to go, friends. You know what that is?
What?
Gentlemen's Club! Gentlemen's Club! Gentlemen's Club! Gentlemen's Club! Gentlemen's Club! Good night.
So, from all of us here at Dub Talk, we wish you a good night. And the Otaku on.
Gentlemen's Club! Yeah!
Woo! Good night.
Keep it gentlemen.
Keep it, gentlemen.
Shot.
Shot.